Now, there's been a lot of conservatives who've had effusive praise of Vladimir Putin. Now, you would think that as pro-American patriots that they'd be against Russian expansion, and especially one that we disagree with, into an allied country. But no, actually, they've sent a lot of messages to Russia with love. But Dana Rohrabacher has actually taken it a little over the top. He's just thrown a little bit more in for Putin. Now, what's curious is that Rohrabacher has decided to go on television and all other outlets and sing Putin's praises and make excuses for him in the incursion into Crimea. Let's watch.
If we are to be listened to and try to find a peaceful solution, the Russians have to respect that we are there trying to find a solution, not trying to utilize this controversy as a means of defeating them and pushing them into a hole. What do the people of Crimea want? I don't think anybody in here will disagree with the fact that it is clear the people of Crimea would rather be part of Russia than be part of a pro-European or European-directed Ukraine. Well, the people of Crimea, just like the people of Kosovo, had their right of self-determination, or should have. But the hypocrisy on our side of trying to suggest this is out-and-out aggression for the people of Crimea to have their will to be part of Russia is a little bit overwhelming. Yet we have placed Russia, it's sanction after sanction on Russia that has had dramatic reform, whose churches are full, yet we give China what? We give China technology, we give them subsidies, we give them recognition, and yet they murder religious believers even as we do, and we ignore that.
I believe that would be a full-throated defense of Vladimir Putin. He said at some point, we've put them in a hole. The hypocrisy of it. I'm not sure Fidel Castro could have done a better job of defending Russia in that case. Well played, Republican Congressman Dana Rohrabacher. Now, Rohrabacher claims, oh man, I fought against the Russians back when we were supporting the Mujahideen, which turned out to be a brilliant move, by the way. And so I'm anti-Russian, except for the fact that I now love the Russians. They had a referendum. Look, they might have won that referendum if they had actually fair elections, but they did that referendum at the point of a gun, and most of the minorities in Crimea did not participate in that referendum. It's a curious defense from a so-called conservative, fascinating, but he's not done yet. He's got more love for Russia.
In this case, I don't see a dichotomy. I don't see Mr. Putin opposing that, and that should be our position as Americans, that we believe in the democratic process. So I just, Mr. Putin is demonized by a lot of people here, and when he's ever watching out for Russia's self-interest, we're acting as if this is the old Cold War days, and it was a communist overture to do something to dominate the world. Well, Putin has a right to watch out for the interests of the people there, just as the way we do in the United States, and just as the Ukrainian government should be doing, watching out for the interests of the people of Ukraine.
Wow, all right, as if that wasn't enough. I mean, he seems like he's going out of his way, like maybe reaching around to help Vladimir Putin there. All right, more from Rohrabacher, who just can't stop himself. He says Putin has a right to be upset with the ousting of the democratically elected government under President Viktor Yanukovych. Wait, but our allies are the ones that ousted him because we thought that he was in the pocket of Putin and was crushing his own citizens with possible snipers in the streets. But that's all ignored by Rohrabacher. Why does he love Putin so much? How strange, how incredibly weird. If a Democrat was saying this, he'd have been run out of town. He'd have been tarred and feathered like this Soviet lover. I know the Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore, but these guys talk like that all the time. And now all of a sudden he's like, oh, Putin, man, help, my brother Putin. He's just defending himself. What could he do? Now, he says, look, the incursion into Crimea might not have been perfectly kosher, but he says, quote, that doesn't mean Putin and pro-Russian forces are in Ukraine are in the wrong. No, they're not. More, he says, yet we have to go and condemn the Russians, of course, when no one lost their life in an attempt to make sure the people of Crimea had a right to control their destiny and their own self-determination. But wait a minute, somebody did lose their life. Remember, a Ukrainian soldier got shot in the throat. Interestingly, on Twitter, other conservatives pointed this out to Dana Rohrabacher, including Noah Rothman from Mediaite. And so then Rohrabacher responds to them and says, that is sad, referring to the fact that the guy got killed. Sending in Russian troops was wrong. It was, however, more peaceful than Kosovo or other U.S. efforts. Yeah, but like we didn't keep Kosovo. And look, if you want to talk about how the U.S. has violated the sovereignty of other countries, Iraq, which you loved, would have been a great example. Kosovo, we had the United Nations saying there are clearly human rights abuses. We went in there and we helped them, and now, you know, they're free to run their own country. So I'm not quite loving that analogy. Why are you going so out of your way to do all this? It's a good question. I'm not sure we have the answer until the very end, where we begin to get a clue. But first, more love. Just can't get enough of this. Keeps coming and coming. There have been dramatic reforms in Russia that are not being recognized by my colleagues. The churches are full. There are opposition papers being distributed on every newsstand in Russia. You've got people demonstrating in the parks. See, I think the people demonstrating in the parks are demonstrating against the government that you keep praising, but maybe call me crazy. Well, actually, somebody then says to him, hey, how about Pussy Riot? You know, they protested and they were thrown in jail. One of them literally sent to Siberia. Well, I don't think that happens often. There are lots of people demonstrating in the streets of Russia who are perfectly free to do so. Isn't this incredibly strange? So finally, we begin to get to an answer. I kind of wish I would get some sort of word back. Wow. I don't know if that solves the mystery or deepens it. Can you imagine if a Democrat, after praising the Russian leader over and over and over again, then turned around and said, I wish I would get word back from Putin on what my next directions are. You know that Rohrabacher and Steven Seagal recently went to Russia on a trip to find out Islamic ties in the Boston Marathon bombing, deeper Islamist terrorist ties, etc. I don't know what happened over there, man, but both of them came back absolute Putin lovers. I don't know what Putin put in their food or water, but they seem to love him. But here's one other piece of clue where he says, Rohrabacher does, but I haven't even gotten so much as a thank you. Do you want a note from Pooty Poot saying, oh, Dana, thanks for looking out for me. I really appreciate it. Part of the answer might be that what he's saying is, hey, Russian-American community, I got your back. Where's the money, Lebowski? Right? Now, I know that in Congress, oftentimes there will be congressmen who are friend of Turkey, friend of India, the entire Congress, friend of Israel. Okay? And there'll be different friends of different communities who then go to fundraisers in those communities and get friended back, right? It seems like Rohrabacher is saying, look, guys, what more can I do for you, man? Help a brother out here. I haven't heard anything from the Russian community. Send checks payable to Dana Rohrabacher. Look, I'm trying to be kind to him. That's the best possible explanation I got. Otherwise, I don't know what happened in Russia, but I guess what happened in Russia stays in Russia. But this guy is head over heels for Putin and has made every excuse there is in the world for it.